At any point though, did you like ever get through like a Minecraft phase? Or you played Minecraft?
A tiny bit, but like not enough to have learnt like what to do. But I played with my mates that like carried. It's good.
Well, like a couple of days ago, not long after our last podcast, actually, like one of the biggest Minecraft like stars in terms of one of the best players as well as like one of the most famous, like passed away with cancer.
Wow.
And I didn't find out till like I think a couple of hours ago. So I was just like, gee, when I read it, I was like, holy crap, I do not read enough news. But it blew up all over YouTube and stuff like that. Like he's got some like 13 mil subs. Like he's got so
Okay,
many.
yeah. So he's big. Yeah, yeah.
So
What's
he's a
his
big
name?
YouTuber. Technoblade.
Oh, I never heard of him.
The biggest guy's Dream. Oh, at least I
I dream.
think most well known as Dream. He's always around. A lot of people have heard his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, Techno's huge, and I just couldn't believe like when I read it, I was like, holy crap, that rough, a real fuck cancer. Honestly, that I cannot believe it. That was just rough. Like
Yeah.
as I said, like I'm not a big watcher of him. Like as I said, I'm not massively into Minecraft, but in terms of a mutual respect towards what he was able to achieve with YouTube and the joy he brought, like that following he had, like just
Mm.
huge respect. But oh damn, that's rough.
How old was he?
That I have no clue actually, to be honest. As I said, not my I didn't not very old. I'd assume 20s. I'm gonna say oof, like I don't know exactly. I'm gonna just say in 20s would be my guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, rest in peace to him. Yeah. As I said, I didn't watch him, so I'm not too.
What's the thing? Yeah, just I was
I
like,
don't know, but yeah, it's never good. Like yeah, as you said, like cancer, it's never. Well, this
a
started dark.
pleasant thing, is it? Yeah, it's always just fucking with people.
Hmm.
On
Well,
a slightly less upsetting note, we move
yeah.
on to funny stuff. I watched
No,
a
only less
video,
upsetting, or
huh?
like less upsetting, or like a lot less upsetting.
A lot less upsetting. Like
Okay, all right, cool, cool, cool.
that's the only negative, like in terms of like
Well, it's
sad.
not negative, it is.
No,
It
no, I
is
said
what it is.
as in sad news to touch on, like.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, rip to Technoblade. I think one of the things I actually did want to bring up though is I saw an old video of Michael Jordan doing a TV ad, and it was the whole ad about
Is this with his
people always
mum?
talk. No, it's one is like people always ask me who's the GOAT. And I always go, don't ask who the best player is. Ask who the best team is, because there's so many to choose from. And he's like, you got the 91 Bulls, the 92 Bulls, the 93, and he's holding up all these rings and he's counting them up like and then
That's
he's like,
actually funny.
and my personal favorite, and I think the best team ever, 96 Bulls. And I was like, not really
I have
arguing
seen it.
much there.
I have seen it. It's very funny. There is a lot of trade talk we could get into, but we might do that. Save that for like the second half, in my opinion. Like, let's get into what have you been doing. What have you been doing, man? I haven't spoken to you since last week, but still
Not an
a
awful lot.
long
Hey, man,
time.
I'm just doing still same stuff. Like uni's over obviously now,
Mm-hmm.
and we're on holidays, which is great, but still a lot of training and stuff like that. So still fairly busy. Yeah. What about you?
That's good. Not a lot, bro. Like, yeah, just trying to get through. Trying to, as I said last podcast, like trying to get this job that I want. I had my interview.
How'd we go?
I felt I did good. Like I don't look back at it and be like, oh, I should have said this, or I should have done this. I think I did well. I haven't heard back. I haven't heard anything, but hopefully this week I hear something, and that'll be good. But yeah, just trying to get through that. Just trying to move on from my current situation. And yeah, that's it. Just trying to get by, I guess.
We just like popped into some of your streams. Obviously, they're looking good, going well. How's everything going?
Stream is good. It's good. I am liking my schedule. I've added an extra day because I just felt like I wasn't doing enough. So I'm added extra day. So now I'm doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's because the legend told you he did your weekly hours in one day.
That's correct. So I have added a day, but it's more so like I was speaking to him, and he's like, because we were talking about Save the World. He's like, stream Save the World, it's views, blah, blah, blah. And I was going through, and I was like, it's good because like you get easy views, like the audience is there. But I asked him, I was like, who's probably the biggest like Save the World streamer? He goes, oh, this guy, and he's like, definitely averages between like 60 to 70 views per stream. And I was like, that's good, but if we're talking like the biggest and it's only 60 to 70, like I want to get to the point where it's more than like 60, 70. I want to be, thousands.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, maybe because I've moved my Fortnite streams to just Save the World streams. Well, that's what I'm doing now. And I just thought, then I've got WWE Wednesdays and Battlefront on Tuesdays. And I'm liking the fact that I'm still switching it up and not really stuck to one thing. Because I feel like it's going to give me, like, I have people, I think I said in the last podcast, but I've got people that will come in for this stream and then that stream, like, as an audience for all different, like, depending on the night I'm streaming and depending on the game it is. So I do like that I've got that variety rather than being like stuck into one position, but I have to do this every day or I'm not going to get clicks.
Facts.
So now that I've looked into it, it's like, it's good that I'm like WWE, it's dying down, like the game's dying out. But I love playing it with my friends. Like I was going through all the WWE streamers, and there's only like one guy that's killing it. One guy, like when I jumped on there, we had like 100 and some views and stuff like that. But then everyone else like on like 1 or 2, and I would have been on like 12 around something like that. So I was like, that's I'm up there with the
one of the biggest.
Yeah, second. I actually put me second. So, I'll take second. Call him the Michael Jordan of WWE.
Oh. Yeah, we'll call you LeBron in all the finals he's in.
4 of them, but all good. Pause a bit. Hey, how many rings you got?
How many rings I got? Rings as you.
Hey, yeah, you're right. What else is happening, man?
Not like literally not an awful lot. Like I got because I was doing some stuff. So I got I was gonna originally maybe look to do some traveling stuff. So I might head down to the snow, do some snow, but that's really kind of about it.
Threadbow?
Perisher. I'm just kind of like
cool.
enjoying having time. Like even though like I've been busy as hell, like I've been doing so much work, it feels good just having time to kill, time to actually just set.
Yeah.
When are stuff.
When are you planning on going to snow?
We were maybe thinking about it in a couple of weeks or so, but I don't know. We'll just see how we're going.
Do you snowboard or ski or anything?
Snowboard. So I grew up skiing until I was about 15, 16. And when I got to about
till you hit puberty and realize it's skiing's for girls, I don't know. Yeah. Snowboard.
No, at about 18 or something like that. Our family went to the Alps.
Which one?
And French Alps.
Okay.
We're in Geneva. Oh wait, no, it's Swiss Alps, or is it French Alps? I don't know. I think it's Swiss Alps.
So you're telling the story.
I think it's Swiss Alps.
I'm just here to listen.
I don't know. Good story, bro. Well thought out.
So when are we going to call bullshit on this?
Yeah. So yeah, we were on the Alps, but we were in Geneva, which is Switzerland.
You weren't even in the Alps.
Well, we were in the Alps, Switzerland.
It was just some snow.
Yeah, it was just what it was literally it was flat. Okay, it was flat. We had a car, and I was getting pushed. It was fun. It was great fun.
The Alps. Yeah.
And I was just like, let's learn to snowboard.
Mm-hmm.
I have never had, after day one, so much pain sitting down in my life. The bruising you get from the amount of times you just and the worst bit is when I decided to learn, the top at like the halfway down the mountain, beautiful powder, but like when I say halfway down, the run they used to teach you is about 200 meters top to bottom.
Yep.
And it's like
so kind of like parachute, like the beginning part of parachute, but almost that way.
But the thing is, their top, because it was rock solid ice.
Okay. So
when you first get off, you slip down, ice. My tailbone was pain. Like, I'm so disappointed in you for that, but we're going to move right on. And it was just a matter of like, it was just so much pain, but eventually it was worth it. Like I've got my own board now and I do enjoy just.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it was good
Yeah,
fun.
wow.
What about you? What are your plans? You got anything coming up?
I just got back from New Zealand. I'm planning to go again in 3 months. I got a friend's wedding
Book
over
Qantas
there. That'll be
from a
good.
reliable source. They're good.
What was that?
Book Qantas. I heard from a reliable source. They're good.
Yeah. I mean, they're still good, but it was just a bad time. I snowboard too, just to get back to that. I do snowboard. Now, am I good? Like, can I go from the top of the mountain to the bottom? Yeah.
Yes.
Will I fall over? Not all the time. Yeah, like not all the time. I can get down most times without falling off. Have I done any of like, the no. No, I haven't done that.
Yeah, can I get from A to B? For me, yes.
Yeah.
Do I look good doing it? No, but
No, but I will get there. I will get from top to bottom. But I want to start doing the, when you're like going down here. Yeah.
They call me the king.
Yeah, I actually have a crown rather than a helmet just to sort of protect myself.
Yeah, no, it's literally just a big crown, just a huge crown.
But no, I do want to go to the snow at some point this winter because I do enjoy going. But I don't have my own board and stuff, so I need to always hire it in Preston. Not cheap. They're definitely not giving that stuff away. Hey, at all.
Yeah, it's almost like they want it. It's almost like they don't want to just hand away free shit. It's so weird, honestly.
That's a saying because it's expensive. Like that's where that comes from.
Oh, we got there. Good to know. Shut.
Oh, can you tell I'm tired?
You sharp this one, honestly.
Laughing, bro. I'm so fried. Did you watch any of the fights today?
Nah, I didn't actually, because I had sport all day.
Oh, what did you do?
Volleyball, just playing.
At the beach?
No, indoor this one.
Oh, nice.
So tell me, what were the fights? Any good ones?
Well, Max Holloway got pumped
Really?
by Alexander Volkanovski. It was not like it was. Their last two fights were close. This fight was just not it. Israel Adesanya starting to become a bit boring to watch. He's very much like if the person doesn't attack him, he'll just sit there, pick away, and it's not very entertaining. A couple other fights are good, but yeah, nothing too great.
He needs someone to go up and step up and just hit him. Like he needs someone.
Yeah.
Not obviously it's hard to hit. You know what I mean? Like actually be aggressive and then it becomes.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, no, I ended up going to watch that at the pub with a few friends.
Lovely.
That was nice.
Lovely.
Yeah, man, being quiet. It's been a quiet weekend for me.
I was going to say, like, it feels weird doing this sort of like doing the potty and being like, I don't actually have that much that went on the week. Usually there's so much.
Yeah.
There's some trade rumors, so we can get on
them. We're getting no, wait. I actually have
some of them are
ready. Something a little controversial. You ready? You ready for this?
No,
have you heard about how people want to replace Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, people want to replace him because of his religious beliefs. Because he's openly like a very Christian guy and like, that's all good. Now, I have a problem, not with Chris Pratt, but with the people that are like talking about like, oh, he needs to be replaced because obviously in a church being like they don't accept certain things and certain other beliefs and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into that, but you know what I'm talking about. So my thing is that I find it a bit hypocritical is that he is expected to accept everybody because that's the world we live in. Yet these people that want to be accepted won't accept him for his beliefs. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Hold on one sec.
What?
I don't know if it's the job.
I think you got to answer on speaker.
Okay. Hello? Oh, hello. Can I call you back? All good. Sorry, my mistake. Well, how about that?
Yes.
Go on for what you were saying.
No. You can you were talking, and then you were getting a call.
Yeah, no. In this, so basically, what I was saying about people want to get him fired from Guardians and from all that because of his religious beliefs, and because his religious beliefs don't align with other people's beliefs. But then he isn't being accepted for his beliefs because they don't align with what the other people believe. So basically, I'm trying to say is like, where does this the Me Too and the everything, all this everyone's equal and stuff, like there has to be a line, because you can't, like, it can't be one way to please one side and then the other side gets nothing.
And at the end of the day, with the amount of different religions in the world, like the odds of, I just feel like it's too hard to be like, oh, you have to be this when there's so much versatility and multiculturalism in the world. Like, I feel like that's a crap reason to ask for a recasting, like a really crap reason to ask for it. If he was like dangerously religious, as in like he's trying to force it on people and he's getting really aggressive about it, then sure. But
yeah, but even that's different in the sense of like, okay, so it's obviously because of people's choice in sexuality, and like that's where this has come from. Because when you're in religion, it's not like accepted kind of thing. But then, so people are asking that he needs to accept these people. Like that's the whole chat. It's like, well, you should accept them because we're all, just the person. But then
people aren't accepting him because he's religious. Like,
yeah, that's where it's like, well, where's the line? What's this?
My thing is, who the hell are you going to put in his spot?
Well, yeah, but it's also like, not so much about the role. It's just like in general, like how do you have?
No, but the thing is, who are you going to put there that doesn't have something about him that may be a little bit quirky or different?
True.
Or religion.
And once you do it once, you now need to recast everybody.
Oh yeah, there's so many people that need recasting.
Yeah.
Pointless.
Yeah, I don't know. Just something else. I was like, it's just, I don't understand how it's so accepted to have it from one point of view, but then if it was like, if Chris Pratt hit back and was like, oh well, you don't expect me for what respect me for what I believe, so then it should be like maybe you should lose your jobs kind of thing. And that it just doesn't work both ways. It's like it's one side, but it doesn't hit back the other side. So it's just, I don't understand how that all works. Please give me your thoughts on it.
Well, for me, I'm always big of like you think about like just a cup of tea, like, this is what I enjoy. This is my thing. Cool. And if yours is different, cool. Like, personally, I'm straight, but like, if you're gay, you're bi, you're this, you're that, whatever it is, shut the fuck up. But like, personally, if you got like you're gay, bi, all that sort of stuff, anything to do with LGBTQI plus, there's so many now. I struggle sometimes to keep track of. But the original one, and they have the plus symbol, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you remember that, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm sort of like, same sort of thing. Don't try and shove it down my throat, like in terms of like whatever you are, and be like, oh, you have to accept it. It's like, no, you got to understand. I almost don't care, as in, it's your life, not relevant to what we're doing, but cool.
Yeah,
I'm really
for instance,
for you, but yeah,
the cup of tea analogy. It's like, all right, I got this right. I like this. You let's say you don't like this and you like your thing. Now, I'm all good for you to like whatever you like, but if you're coming here and telling me you shouldn't have that, you should be having this because I don't like that and I like this.
Issue.
It's just that's not right. It needs to be.
And that's like, well, some people talk about like, one of the best analogies I heard was something like cake, and it was something like, oh, imagine homosexuality is a cake. If you enjoy it, you have some cake. If you don't enjoy it, don't eat the cake. Simple as that. Like, just you don't have to, like, it's not like homosexuals are going around forcing people to partake. Like, that's not a thing. Well, obviously, like, rape's a thing, but yeah, you know what I mean. But like,
James Charles
like, in general, like, it's not a proper, like, it's not a thing where it's like, oh, you have to. It's like, I feel like people have got to be a little more open, because with the world constantly changing and the fact that we're getting more and more specific about everything, it's like the odds of you being like, you can't hold anyone's sexuality, especially because like against them, especially because in so many ways they can't choose that. Like, they're born with that sort of interest. So I find it hard to heavily judge someone. I understand, from the religious point of view, you go, okay, depending on the religion you are, there are a set of rules you have to follow. But I think there's a fine line between believing your religion and being a shit human being.
Yeah.
But I think too many people murk that line and just become absolute horrible people. And you're like, you're not even selling. Like, I'll put it this way: if your religion's really great, you want to sell it to people, you want people to enjoy, but the thing is, you want them to join out of their own free will, because that means you've created a believer. If you just belittle people and discriminate and just be horrible to people, all you're doing is talking your religion down.
And that, well, even so, if you're also trashing on everybody that's not a believer, then no one's going to start being like, oh, you know what, that person's right, maybe we should
exactly
take their side or whatever. Like,
not everyone.
You need to be, if you are wanting a certain level of respect or acceptance, you then need to give that out too. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It needs to go both ways. That's how I feel about it. And that's why a lot of these things, like, they get me, like, I'm still trying to work it all out. But a lot of what I hear is like, yeah, it's our way. But then when you come back with something else, it's like, no, well, I don't accept that. But it's like, but you want to be accepted, but then don't accept the flip side. Not even the flip side. It's like you want the respect of your choice is your choice and nah. But then when other people have choices, it's like, oh, well, I don't respect that because it goes against me. But it's like, well, what your choices might go against them, but because they are fine with it, you need to find that balance of going both ways.
Exactly, yeah. And that's the thing for me, is like, no matter, regardless of my personal, like, I don't know what to say, personal desires or personal choices, I try as hard as I can to make sure when it comes to these things, just to be completely neutral in the matter. And look, I've got to, like I just said, I'm a big thing of like, for me, it's simple. Like, the thing that I don't like is when people try to over advertise their sexuality and shove it in your face. And for me, that's the same even for like, when I have straight mates that do it, and it annoys me. Like when they're like overly trying to push down on this and this, and I want to do this, and I'm like, mate, relax.
I agree. Like when I see Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker, not about it. Not about it. I agree. There's
like PDA, like I've seen like a full hookup happening, and I'm just like,
bro, it's so awkward, eh?
No, I think I get if you're on a picnic and, you know, like,
I mean,
you know,
apart
people
from
at
being
picnics.
horny, but it's so weird.
No, but like I've been on a few picnics and stuff, and you look around, you know, some people are kissing and stuff, and you're like, you know what? In like a big park area, I'm not massively, I understand it. But I mean, like in a certain, like when there's enclosed spaces and you're like, I can't get away from this. The fuck is going on?
And no, I do agree. It's like,
but for me, it's the same regardless of who's involved, what's doing, but it's a matter of like, so PDA's it's its own thing. And I think, look, I'm fine with PDA. It's just a level of it. Like it gets to a point where you're like, yo, just go find a room. There's a hotel behind you.
Book literally like just take this anywhere else. No, I agree. I think that's my issue with it too. It's like, don't, like, you can do what you want, be happy, do what you want, but just like keep it out of my face. If that's
exactly. And the thing is, as I said, it's
no matter which way you swing.
Yeah. It's nothing against anyone. It's just straight up a general sweeping statement. Like, I don't mind who you are. Like, I'm glad that, you know, you're individual and you're going to have your own views. I'm really supportive of that sort of stuff. But like, I almost don't care in the regard of going, it shouldn't be the thing that defines who you are.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be like, for example, if for me, it's like being straight doesn't define who I am. All the stuff about
it's not a personality trait. Yeah,
it's just it's more a sexual orientation. It's not a personality trait. It's a sexual orientation.
It's same with people that always say they're busy. Being busy is not a personality trait. Like, just because you tell everyone you're busy, like, doesn't mean shit. It means you're bad with time management. That's what that means. Come on now. All right. It got deep. I think now we need to switch it to the NBA, because I got a segue from the NBA to where, like, what I want to talk about. So, do you have anything else you want to bring up before we talk trades?
No, let's talk trades.
All right. First things first. I have a good thought for what's going to happen to the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm going to create this team in 2K in my league so I can test it out. So Kyrie will be traded for Russell Westbrook. There's obviously listen. There's more pieces, but just hear me out. So for Russell Westbrook, KD, this is just the basis. There will be more pieces of everything. KD will be traded to Boston for Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and picks, right? So hear me out. So Brooklyn, if they make these two trades, can end up with their starting five being Russell Westbrook, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Ben Simmons, and Nick Claxton.
Oh, it's a strong team.
That's right? the thing that like you look pathetic when you lose these two players. If you make a few good trades, that's a good lineup.
And the thing is, when you got a shooter like Kyrie and a handler like Kyrie, LeBron can almost become, he doesn't need to run the ball anymore. He can become almost your open man shooter. He can move around. He can go back to what he was doing when he was dominating with guys like the Heat. Like he's not required to do everything. And you know anything needs Kyrie to win a ring. So it's all good now.
That's right. I mean, he did it without him, but all good.
So it's like, you don't know. It's fine.
It's kind of like Kyrie needs LeBron to win a ring, but all good. So that's one thing I heard.
I know. I did hear about the Durant to Celtics thing, and being a Celtics fan, I'm not against it, but I'm not massively for it.
Yeah,
because for me, I'm like, Durant did pretty much nothing.
He's past his prime,
and even against us in the playoffs, he did nothing. Like I didn't really see anything special, and I'm like, why would I give up the guy that just got Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah,
and a young and upcoming shooting guard? Like, why would I give both of them up
to win now
for a guy that's past their prime? Like,
yeah,
and I'm gonna have to
you're
give
right.
up. It's like, why would I give up picks as well for someone who's past their prime? And is he going to come in and shake the game up massively? I doubt it, because we're going to lose both shooting guards with him.
Yep.
If we lose both shooting guards, like,
because the problem that Kevin Durant faces at the moment is he wants to go to the Sixers or to the Suns.
No,
that was what he said.
The Suns.
Was it the Heat? No, there was also talk with Sixers as well. Well, Heat. Even
Suns are the top. Heat's there. Oh no, Sixers. I think we're in the next few.
Yeah.
But his top
Suns,
Suns.
Suns are not giving up
Paul
Booker for him
or Paul. There's no way
because
Paul's made them too good.
You've got a guy past their prime that's not even the best power forward in the game. You're going to trade him for your literal franchise player. That's
same thing with Heat. There's no way Nets will accept a trade with the Heat without Butler being involved. And there's no way Heat are letting Butler go. He's too good. Same with Bam. There's no way Bam and Butler. There's no way. Surely they'd let them go.
I mean, Heat's more likely. I didn't even think about Heat because they could give up a lot of young guys.
Yeah, but they're not going to want to give up Hero.
Yeah, but if they do,
the thing is, you got to look at it. Heat don't need this trade.
Yeah,
like they're playing so well. They got a young center in Bam. They got the veteran in Butler. They got Hero. They got Drudge. Like they've the young players.
That's why KD.
They don't need KD.
Yeah, that's why KD's kind of in a shit spot. Like where the teams he wants to go to, no one wants him. They don't need him. So unless, I mean, I could see there was also talks I saw where Kyrie to Lakers plus KD like do a trade AD, Russ plus other players for then KD and Kyrie. But KD
and AD.
No, trading AD.
Okay. So basically KD, Kyrie, and LeBron.
Yeah. Because that's the problem. The problem right now is that he's not needed anywhere. Like, I mean, he could go back to the Warriors realistically, but then that's really it.
The big thing for me is I'm also looking at it is like KD. He's in a similar spot to Kyrie now. When you bounce around that much and you demand out of so many places, no one's going to want you because it seems like your loyalty's lacking, brother. Like,
yeah, which should always, we know that about KD, but it's like, what happens now? Let's say a team gives up. Let's say the Suns. The Suns give up Booker. They, KD, we're here, we're going to win, and then 2 years later, KD's like, oh, I'm out, and you like that. That risk is far too high.
To be fair, there's also a chance like he's asked to leave, but at the end of the day, his contract's not up. There's also a chance Nets can't get rid of him.
Yeah, and well, he'll most likely sit out.
Well, I reckon he's going to give it a chance with Simmons because he hasn't actually had a proper go with Simmons. Like if Kyrie stays, Kyrie, KD, and Simmons, I reckon could still do some damage.
Yeah, I mean they still got a good supporting team.
I reckon Russ for Kyrie is a bad move for the Nets. No offense, but Russ has been playing like crap. I do not see the justification for moving someone who, when he's playing bad, still adds value to the team with someone who, when he's playing bad, is literally useless.
I mean, to Russ's point, it was only one bad season.
It was a bad season, but it's a matter of,
and on a team
on current form, it's currently quite bad, especially on a team where you've got superstars around you.
Yeah,
it should theoretically be easy.
Yeah, but if you looked at the
points.
Lakers for last year, they had, what was it? I think they switched their team around more than, they had more team changes in the starting lineup than they had wins during the season. So for a new player trying to get into that.
It is true. Like, but for me, I'm just looking at things like, if you're going to change stuff, which happens a lot, you got to think about why you're changing it. And if you have someone of Russ's caliber, who is, the triple-double king, like all that sort of stuff, he's had a great things here and there. If for him to come in and be not effective, like that looks terrible, because there is no excuse. Like, you can't say, oh, he didn't score as many points because he shared the ball more. I'm like, yes, but he should also be guarded a lot less, considering LeBron and AD are both
that's true.
And they both come off quite hot seasons. So there was no reason.
AD was hot off the injury list because he sucks. But apart from that,
LeBron's been injured a lot recently too.
Okay, well, we're not talking about him right now. I have a question.
Slick transition.
What do you think is the most athletic sport? And actually, well, we need to clarify.
In what regard?
I don't know. This is why I want to get into, because I couldn't figure out what it was, because you look at athletes, right? Now, if we compare LeBron James to Tom Brady, they are both crazy athletes, but it's just so different.
Well, see, the thing is, you have a lot of athletes that are sporty athletes, as in naturally gifted, and then it depends on what you define as athlete.
Yeah, would you say golf is a sport?
Golf for me is a sport, but different.
Yeah. Okay.
It's less about the raw power and so-called athleticism to play contact sports, but it has a lot more, the skill cap on it is massive. And don't get me wrong, there is obviously still power and stuff like that, but I mean, compared to rugby, where it's very physical contact.
Yeah, rugby's obviously got a lot less precision than golf does. Okay, so would you say Formula One driving, they're athletes?
I'd say they're drivers. Oh, you know what?
I mean, because think, they got to have reaction time. They got to have.
Oh, as well as
all this kind of stuff.
You've seen the stats of how much calories they burn in a race, and it's not hard, and their reaction speeds and their turns, and it's ridiculous. They're phenomenal athletes. It's just, again, it's a different type of athlete.
Yeah. So if we were comparing, do we classify that as a sport?
Well, yeah, for sure.
Formula One driving is a sport.
Yeah.
Why are you just so casual? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I need an opinion now. You can't just give me
Well, I'm tempted to almost say it's more of an event than a sport, but it has multiple rounds, so to speak, and there's a ladder, there's a table. I would say it's a sport.
Okay, so would you say bodybuilding's a sport?
No.
Well, there's a ladder, there's a table, there's a, they got to.
But
is there a difference between competitors and a sport?
For me, I find the difference is sport is where you earn your win. Or let me be clear about active competition, as in whether it's a point system or racing, you beat active other competitors. For me, events require judges.
Okay.
So, for example, I see racing, any form of racing, as a sport because it's grueling battles in the race to win. Mm-hmm. But I will see stuff like dance and bodybuilding as more of an art form sort of thing. All right. Because it's really talented, a lot of skill, and they are great athletic people. But because their entire thing comes down to being judged by specific people of judges, I find it more of an art form. However, I know you're going to jump to UFC and boxing and say they're all the judges because I know your mind. Am I right?
No, I was going to say powerlifting.
Again, huge athletes. I say
No, I'm kidding. I was going to go to MMA and boxing. Yeah, go. Give
but
it
again, you're talking about a live battle that only goes to judges if they can't finish it. So there is a way to win this event actively competing against someone rather than without. You don't need the judges. Theoretically, you could just say boxing ends in a draw after this amount of time.
Yeah, okay.
Besides having a referee, which a lot of things have, the sport could technically function without judges.
Okay, I see. So now getting back to athletes. So are we including like every would we consider bodybuilders and stuff is a bodybuilder an athlete?
I'd say I'd say he's athletic. I wouldn't necessarily
not an athlete. Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily say athlete because their competition is about aesthetic. It's about an art form, and they look incredible. They're hugely athletic human beings, but I can't say they're an athlete because the physical activity side of things is I feel like kind of at a.
Are you Googling something? Are you cheating?
Am I cheating? No, in this regard. I'm just checking one other thing about bodybuilding because I don't want to make a mistake on it.
Okay.
Oh, okay, no, I'm wrong. Never mind. But for me, if I think about an athlete, I think someone who plays sports, actively, they are successful, lots of physical activity and sports. In fact, actually, no, you know what I'm going to Google? I'm going to Google the definition of athlete.
Okay.
And see what it says, because that for me is actually, I think
if it comes up with a picture of me, just ignore it.
Oh yeah, you've loved ever since Wikipedia allowed you to self-edit.
Yeah, it's been really good.
There you go. A person who is proficient in sports and other forms of physical activity. Sorry, physical exercise. So for me, they are athletic, all right, because the fact they are proficient in gym, weightlifting, and bodybuilding, that sort of stuff, but they're not necessarily to me an athlete because they're not proficient in sports in terms of competitive. Well, it's hard because it's a competitive thing, but you know what I mean? It's for me, bodybuilding is an art form. You're like a sculpture. You're trying to chisel the perfect build into a really nice shape. You want to look the best. That's your thing. And it's an art. Do you think
it's more of a like athletes play sports, competitors are in competition / events?
Yeah, sort of thing. Well, I'll put it this way. What about you? Do you think they're athletes?
Bodybuilders?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're athletes because you can find, and not because it's unreal what they do. It's actually
well, that's what I mean. They're incredible people, but I wouldn't.
But then, they're athletic. But then again, there's some bodybuilders that are monsters that literally can't move.
But that's what I mean. That you see the whole thing where they joke around and they put the Post-it note on their back and they can't reach it. I'm that's just impractical. For me, I always deem an athlete as having to be able to play an active sport that requires physical exercise and moving.
Yeah.
And I find a lot of bodybuilders, there's jokes of them on the YouTube, which is unfortunate, but on YouTube, you can find tons of videos where they go doing this against the bodybuilder, and the bodybuilders half the time suck at it just because physical activity is not always
it's not also not what they train. They train to, as you said, look good.
But they're training for those competitions
opposed to
but for me, I say that's an event. That's an event.
Yeah, because
I see it like a painting event. Let's say it's a drawing competition or a painting competition. You're trying to create the best work of art. For me, bodybuilders, their work of art is their body.
Okay.
So for me, I'm that's more an art competition to me because they're trying to create the masterpiece with just their body.
So then what would I guess the Olympics is just a mix of everything then.
The Olympics is a mix of everything because there's some events, there's some competitive. Well, actually, no, all of them are technically called events.
Yeah, they are, but
But I would
Like
say
the
that the
runners, the
Olympics is
swimmers,
home to some of the world's greatest athletes for sure.
yeah, totally agree. Okay.
Like when we talk about the greatest athlete, like across all sports, I think about physical health and well-being, fitness, strength, but not just that, but I like to look at it as dominance in their sport. And that's why like LeBron's up there, ridiculously dominant. Muhammad Ali's up there, ridiculously strong. You have those sort of boxers and those fighters.
But then that's the thing.
Athletes.
Like Tom Brady is hands down the greatest quarterback of all time. There's no question.
Oh yeah,
and
he's like
athletic in a way where obviously body wise and physically not athletic, but like the way that his mind knows, all right, this needs to go this distance here, and he can do all that like that.
Like you,
like that. So, yeah, do you know what I mean? Like there's so to define, like if we looked at every sport, we're like, okay, who's the best athlete? Do you have to just pick one from each sport, or like you can't really compare because everything is using a different muscle or a different trick or a different like.
Actually, I got one for you then. In terms of athlete who was dominant in his sport / event, who do you reckon the greatest athlete is? Regardless of LeBron and Jordan, there have been other players that are more dominant in their sports than those two have been. Like you got Ronaldo out there who is easily up there. Like the guy is.
Yeah, but Messi's better than him.
Up for it. Like I'm a Team Messi fan, but Ronaldo athletic wise is nuts. The guy.
Yeah, well that's the exact same thing. Like you look at Ronaldo, he's an athletic dude. He's got the build, he's got everything. But then you look at Messi, who's some would argue a better player, a better at everything.
Well, no, it's hard because they're different positions, but like Ronaldo's up there as one of the highest goal scorers of all time. Like he scores goals. He's ridiculously athletic. He's fast. He's got a lot of the same stuff as Messi, but they're different styles of play.
Yeah.
For me, Ronaldo is definitely a better athlete than Messi.
Yeah.
But in terms of a football,
I mean, well, in most dominant, if we're talking most dominant, I'd have to put Floyd Mayweather up there. For the guy to not even lose.
But what's the sport?
In tennis.
Yeah, I always thought he was quite good. That forehand, that backhand, he's got his.
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather tennis, like obviously unbeatable.
No, but the thing is, you don't look at that one weight class now. You think about dominance across. You could look at Tyson Fury if you wanted to look at that. You could look at Muhammad Ali. Like you can look at all boxers. It's not just one anymore because you're talking about sports most dominant.
Yeah, Tyson Fury is a perfect example of a guy that does not look athletic at all.
Bro, he's the one that if you saw in a bar, you'd be like, I'll fight him.
Yeah, actually, but he's like this fat dude, just whatever. But he's a natural born killer. Like he's
but that's
insane.
the thing.
Yeah.
So when you say Floyd, it's like cool. Only that weight class though. You got all of boxing. I would argue there's more athletic boxers than him.
Yeah, okay.
You could talk Usain Bolt just because insane. For me, actually, though, most dominant athlete in their sport, for me, is an easy one in my head.
Yep.
Phelps. You look at like he's ranked something like 25th. If Phelps was a country, he's ranked 25th in gold medals. Like
wow.
He's won so many medals, it's not funny. He's dominated for a period of almost 20 years more. Like, name an athlete that dominated for 20 years in any sport. Like, that's ridiculous. Who?
LeBron. Yeah.
Wait, he's on 18 seasons now, isn't he?
No, this one coming up is 20.
It's 20 coming up.
Yeah, 20 is his next season. So 2022, 2023 will be his 20th season. And I get that, but then you take that man out of water, and what is he? Playboy billionaire for life.
Here you go. So Phelps was, give or take, the greatest swimmer for well over 15 years.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, you're talking about not just being in a spot, but you're talking about being the best across sports that require different disciplines. This would be like asking LeBron to go and play center against Embiid and say, beat him in driving into the post. You have to do the same thing as him.
Yeah.
Same style of play as him. LeBron is so dominant because his style of play is just
Yeah, that's true.
So this would be like, no, LeBron, for you to be the greatest, you have to outshoot Steph Curry. Same spot, deep threes. You have to out-bully Joel Embiid. That's literally the same. Like Phelps going, no, you have to swim this stroke, and this stroke. And the fact that you can dominate in all of them is ridiculous. So for me personally, to be in a sport that requires you to be the fastest, like as in, with basketball, you can be a guy like Ray Allen. If you're not the quickest dude, you can be a lethal shooter. You can have value. But in a sport where like it's a race, you need to be the fastest. So if we're not talking like, oh, he just does it, he was the fastest in all his events.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because it's like everyone's doing the one thing in that kind of sport. It's same with, if we said Usain Bolt, like everyone in his sport is doing the exact same thing. Yet the one guy just, there's no like way to go around it.
Athletes. But see, again, it's what you're looking at from an athlete. Because if you're looking at a cardio thing, then obviously your greatest athlete is going to be like the Kenyan runners that do the marathon. Like Japonde or something like that. One of them ran a marathon in under 2 hours. Like, if you get on a treadmill, most people go up to 10 and they're like, oh, this is a bit quick. And stuff like that. The guy that ran it in under 2 hours was averaging over 21. So put your treadmill on 21 and just run at that pace for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's a no from me.
And that's what I mean. To run that fast for that long, bang, one of the greatest athletes. But again, there's faster top speeds.
You're right.
But some could argue that a swim is more cardiovascular, like demanding than running, because you're using all your body to pull water and kicking. Like it's a more full body thing. So
I guess it's one of those questions. It's the term athlete can't be that simplified because it just there's so many aspects where it comes from and what you got to take into consideration.
Exactly. So for me, it's like when someone says who's the greatest athlete, I go define athlete.
Yeah,
that's going to become big.
So it's basically LeBron then.
Well, I'll ask you back to your original question. I think we'll finish up after this, but what do you think is the most athletic sport?
Oof. It would have to be between, but I would say basketball and MMA.
But see, these are different. Again, for me, it's going to be, I like MMA, I like basketball, but it's going to come down to what are we looking for as an athlete? Does an athlete require skill, or are you talking athletic ability? In terms of physical athletic ability.
When you're saying like most athletic sport, like for me, it's like fighting. Obviously, there's a lot to it. You know, the cardio, the mind games.
You can win it while not being an athlete. You can win it by being technically perfect.
Yeah. But then when you look at basketball, it's the guys that can jump the highest, the guys that can, the fastest,
specific
like
skills, like they have to be.
Yeah. So when you say athletic, like that's the thing I think of when you say athletic, opposed to, the Formula One drivers that are, they're so athletic in the way that they know how to turn at the right time. Their timing would be perfect.
Exactly,
That's a different skill. But to me, it's like I would never look at racing and be like, that's the most athletic sport.
If I'm thinking body and just pure athleticism, like I wouldn't feel out of place throwing volleyball into that conversation. Like it requires top speed, fast, quick acceleration. It requires athletic prowess in terms of having to leap literally into the air. So it requires full body power. It requires the vertical leap. It requires a lot of arm, torso, core strength to be able to do these skills. But again, it's all about. So it's like, in terms of being an athlete, you could argue that that's a very athletic sport because most of it is about moving your body.
Yeah.
While
you're right.
Basketball, as I said, you can be a very successful basketball player, but be a really proficient shooter and not jump that high. Like when you look at a guy like Larry Bird couldn't really, had like zero vertical.
Well, even
was
Luca
dominant.
at the moment.
Luca as well, zero vertical, but really
Yeah.
strong at their thing. So
Yeah, no,
I
you're
think
right.
it's
You're
up.
right.
I'd argue
Yeah.
weightlifters are up there in terms of athletic ability. Like those guys can run rapid and they can fly. Rowers, the strength required on their body is huge. Like there's those that sort of stuff. So I always find that a tough conversation. I've definitely had that debate with a lot of people, but for me, at the time, it's all going to come down to what does the person that's asking you the question define as athlete?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, hey, this is fun.
Oh, something I never asked you, by the way, and I don't think you came up because of your stupid chair that I love very much. Are you a team Cap or a team Iron Man?
Are you kidding? Cap was doing the right thing that he knew was right. Iron Man.
So you're for breaking up the Avengers? I like it.
No, I'm for when people
breaking
are
up
in
the
need.
Avengers. Yeah,
when
good.
people are in need, you go help them. You do not allow the government to tell you when you can go and intervene or not.
I like that, but then in doing that, you'd disband and you'd all become criminals and outlaws and get locked up forever. Cool, good luck helping people.
I mean, they got out of jail straight away, and they were fine.
Yeah, that's because half of them agreed, so they actually ended up getting them out.
No, it's because at the end of Civil War, Captain America broke them out.
Yeah, but how did he break him out? Who helped him get there?
Himself. He got there himself.
There's a little bit of a.
What happened?
I don't think he would have been able to do too much without Iron Man's help.
Iron Man got there later and was giving him smack, and then Captain America went there later and saved him.
He wasn't giving him smack. He was pretending to give him smack. Remember, he literally asked Sam, "Where is Cap?" And what did he say? Because I want to go and help him. And then what did Cap do? Protect the guy that killed his best friends. Like Bucky was his old best friend. Tony became his new best friend for a long time. They saved the world together. The guy that killed his parents.
I don't think they were ever best friends.
Couldn't give a shit. Couldn't give a shit about the person that killed your parents. Wow. Nice guy. Just forgive him. It was only your parents that made you homeless at as an 8-year-old, but it's all good. Just forgive him.
Homeless? He died when his parents died when he was like 23, and he was a billionaire.
But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Just take that away from him. Take that away from him. It's all good. Oh, what's that? Oh, you killed my parents. Oh,
they were shit parents.
Move on.
They were shit parents. I said it. They were shit parents.
You take that back.
Yeah. Howard Stark sucked. Mother Stark sucked. I'm not going to say they deserved it, but they were shit parents. Bucky didn't even know what he was doing.
Yeah, that's what they all say. Cool. I'll tell you what. I'm going to come over one day. I'm just going to kill someone you know. And I'll just be like, look, I didn't know what I was doing. I was mentally not there. I didn't know what I was doing. Forgive me. Yeah.
Just going to kill someone I know.
Just forgive me. Forgive me real quick. No, not even that. No. The parents, some people
really don't even need to come over to kill someone I know.
Do me a favor then. No. So true. No. I'll put it this way. No. Let's just say a random walks into your house or walks into your parents' house, kills your parents. All good. Just forgive them. They didn't know what they were doing. Just forgive them real quick.
No, I don't think Tony had to. Well, Cap didn't kill him.
Yeah, Tony didn't wasn't mad at Cap. He just sat Cap down. And the worst bit is he could have.
You're Iron Man sim. Iron Man sucks, dude. And Iron Man.
Bro, please. If not for Iron Man, Cap wouldn't be half the shit he is.
How?
His shield is literally something Iron Man's family made.
Yeah, okay, not Iron Man.
The only thing special about Cap is the
Man.
fucking super serum. He was useless without it. He is literally a laboratory experiment. And more importantly, all the funding and everything they do as the Avengers, which everyone loves, comes from Iron Man, not from Cap.
Yeah, because Cap doesn't have a job.
Exactly. He's fucking useless.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But
yeah, exactly.
Cap,
but do not tell me that Iron Man is useless.
Sucks, dude.
Okay, now Iron Man kind of useless. His wallet though.
Who cares? Yeah, well, there you go. Useless. He sucks. And the Hulk sucks too. Don't at me. All right, we actually need to put this to rest. So, no, it's too long. We need to say this.
No, because my only last thing I want to say is, I'm not necessarily Team Iron or Team Cap because they obviously set it up so that there's reasons to support both.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm more with Cap in terms of the logic of why he's making that decision, but I also understand why Tony was like, let's just accept it and then argue it later. Because at the end of the day, if they end up saying
never argued it later.
well, if the government goes do this and they end up all going no, what are they going to do then? How are they going to stop?
They all become. But the Hulk was off-world. The Hulk had nothing to do with any of this.
No, but you know what I mean. Like in general, if the Avengers had all signed, eventually the Hulk would have come back and it'd be like, what are you gonna? How are you gonna suddenly stop all of these guys?
Well, the Hulk sucks. One. His character in the MCU.
Strongest Avenger.
He's definitely not the. Thor is the strongest Avenger.
Actually, no, I do agree with that. When they had a fight, Thor kicked the crap out of him, and if it weren't for that guy electrocuting him,
pumping him. So anyway, that's a whole podcast we can have like next time just talking about MCU. So,
but the only last thing I got to say,
this is your third last thing.
This is gonna annoy you. This is gonna annoy you. Iron Man, when they had that fight, and it was Captain America and Bucky against Iron Man could have killed them both, but he chose not to, and it led to Cap deciding
he was getting bashed and then needed a robot to tell him how to win this fight because he had no way of doing it.
Says the guy with the robotic arm. Says the dude with the robotic arm.
He got it. No, but the robotic arm is run by him, not by someone else. He had an artificial intelligence tell him how to counter Cap so then he could win the fight, and then still lost because Iron Man sucks.
No, he won and said, "Stay down, final warning." Cap chose to get back up and attack him from behind. That is not any way. I like. This is what I mean.
Cap should have killed him.
No, but the thing is,
should have killed him.
Bro, let's be real. If the fight was genuine, Iron Man would have killed both of them because Bucky was fucking dead if Cap didn't step in, and if Iron Man had finished Cap off when he said, "Don't get up again," and Cap was like, "I can't get up." Like, yes, he's in a massive metal suit, which gives him a humongous advantage, but at the end of the day, it's sort of like. That for me is where I went. At least both of them sort of went, haha, spare your life. Haha, I spared yours because you spared mine.
No, Cap's better. Anyway.
Oh, and also, just for the record, really well, just for Cap's better. Where would they be on trying to save the whole world from Thanos, if not for Iron Man working out the time travel thing? Nowhere. Oh, right, cool. Who did Cap have to go and ask for help because he couldn't work it out?
Ant-Man was the one that worked out time travel.
No, Ant-Man said, "This is how we do it. I don't know the logistics."
Yeah, but Ant-Man.
I don't know how it's possible.
Idea. Okay, that wasn't even Iron Man. That was Tony Stark. Two different people. I gotta go. It's been an honor. Catch me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday on Twitch at King Eldado.
How you gonna do like that?
Follow our Instagram at Pure Mediocrity. Follow this guy that doesn't promote anything if you would like to. Till next time. Out. Do you have anything to say of relevance?
No, thanks for tuning in. To be honest, I just love the fact Marvel make good films. So that's
right. And the fact that No Way Home is the best Marvel movie yet. All right. Arigato.
Which was that? Oh, is that